What's up, my friend? Jason Cardamone here. This is for sure going to be probably the weirdest Father's Day video you've ever seen in your life. And it doesn't matter whether you're a father, a mother, a son, a daughter. It doesn't matter if you have children right now, or if you are the child of someone, or if you know the child of someone. This video is going to pertain to you. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, like the weirdest Father's Day thing. And here's what this all means, guys. Why I'm doing this is that I've done a lot of things over the years, tons of like, some of you guys internet marketing scene, you may have gone through Frank Kern's like perfect day exercise. I love that exercise. First did that in like, well, when he first put it out, 2009, 10, something in those ranges. And more recently, the reason I'm doing this video right now is specifically because I was upstairs this morning. I'm getting ready to go out on a run because today is Father's Day, and everybody's asking like, well, Jason, what do you want to do? And this video is proof of exactly what I'm going to be doing, including going running here in the coming minutes. As soon as this video is done, I'm going to upload it. You guys are going to be watching this. I'm going to be out running around the back trails of Colorado with the mountains and the birds and the trees everywhere, and just feeling as if I'm connected with all the random people on the trails, but more than anything with nature. And as we're all here together, you're probably wondering like, dude, get to the point. What are you talking about? What's this deal with Father's Day? So more recently, guys, I was working with a high-level coach, and I tend to do that in all areas of my life, whether it's like running coaches or business coaches or health coaches or all of the above. And so recently was working with a coach who went through this exercise of, you know, really around like, what's your purpose and what do you want to do, you know, whether it's Father's Day or every day of your life, ideally. And the exercise, this particular one, was around, it wasn't like Frank's like create your perfect day. This one was like, what would you do with a week of your life? And I've done a lot of versions of this, and so you probably have gone through something like this. And if you haven't, I totally encourage you. And the exercise is just something as simple as, what would you do if you had 1 week of your life right now? God. And I just was instantly taken to a really important event in my life, and I'm this was not part of the video, guys. None of this is planned, but we're gonna go with this because this is really important. So there's a video, I think it's by Nickelback, and it's all about if today was your last day. And you could probably look it up. I don't even know the real name, but all these tears. I just heard that song yesterday. I was triggered, and that song is a trigger for me for this particular event. But if you go watch that video and like soak it in, what does it really mean? It's about what we're talking about, whether it's Frank Kern's perfect day. What would you do if today was your last day? What would you do with this week if this was the last week of your life? So here we are on Father's Day together. And as you're hearing my voice and thinking about what Father's Day means to you, and it doesn't matter whether this day brings tears to you and you've recently lost someone really close to you, or like I've seen some people on Facebook I know really well that they're struggling. This is their first Father's Day, and I'm so thankful I'm going to be seeing my father in the coming hours. And I know there's some of you out there that can't do that, or maybe it's been a while and this is still a really special day for you, or maybe you're like my youngest brother and it's your first Father's Day ever. And guys, it's a day, and it symbolizes things, and you can choose to plant a flag here and what that means. And you can also, no matter whether this is Father's Day or Christmas or your birthday or January 3rd or June 15th or August 12th, hopefully none of those days, one of those days hopefully is just like a random day to you. And if you're one of those people, you're like, oh, well, that's this birthday, this is this holiday, whatever, then pick some random day that doesn't mean anything, because any day you can choose to plant a flag and literally transform everything from that day moving forward. And it doesn't have to be New Year's Eve and you're making all these New Year's resolutions, because here we are on June, the middle of the year, June 19th. This is my January 1st. This is my Father. Oh, it really is Father's Day. It's damn near my birthday too. So this is a really cool time of year for me anyway. But I'm not sitting here just on like some summer break and vacation like some people in the world, and like, oh, let me like lounge around because it's summer and the weather. Now I'm breaking into Will Smith's summertime songs like flowing through my head right now. So instead of going through my famous rap routines, like I did last night with my kids, specifically with Summertime and about 50 other songs. And my son's probably laughing in the other room listening to this right now, just as you are. What would you do if this was the last week of your life? And here's the whole reason why I'm shooting this video to you guys. This is like everything coming together, and it's all for a reason and a purpose. And everything I've done for my entire life, it's all for a reason and purpose, just the same as you, exactly like all of those, the good, the bad things, whatever today means to you, whatever all that means, we're all here for a reason and a purpose. And this next week of your life, you could choose to create it as if it was the last week of your life. Because here's the damn sad reality. For 98% of you, probably 99%. As you're watching this right now, you know the reality, the next week of your life, unless you happen to have some random family vacation, and maybe that is what you would do with the last week of your life. It's totally awesome, and if it is, I hope that is what you're doing. But for the vast majority of you, you're going back to a job tomorrow morning. For the vast majority of you, you go through today with all of your whatever your belief systems and your meaning of what today means to you, and this next week goes back to the rat race that you've probably been running on last week. The same rat race you've probably been running on for years from now. And even if it's not a week, what about this next month? What does the next year of your life represent? Is it any different from last year? Is it any different from 10 years ago? And I know, just as you know deep in your heart, what that answer really is. And here's the whole reason why I'm doing this video. It's because we go back on, my recent stint of this, and this has come up every single time. Frank Kern's Perfect Day exercise, whether I'm at that event watching Nickelback's song, whether it's with the coach, the experience of what if it's the last week of your life, what does it look like? And so every single time what the last week of my life involves, this isn't everything, but one piece of it always has to do with what I'm doing right now. Right now. It's me spending time with people I care about. It's me getting on a video. It's literally me dumping all of my inspiration, my knowledge, my energy, my passion, my failures, my successes, and everything I have to attempt to compress those into these little bite-sized bits of ones and zeros flying at you. I don't even know if that's common anymore. Do people even know the whole internet is just ones and zeros anymore? Or is it all just turned into like, it's all Facebook and it's all Gmail and it's all, words and sounds and videos like you're watching right now? Maybe that is what the internet has turned into, but what it really is, it's all these just ones and zeros down at the basic level. And so what's interesting about that is that in the week exercise thing, there was, if I don't remember because this was actually a few months ago, it was more than that, it was like a year ago when I last did this. When I last did it consciously, because I'm always recreating my life, but it was 2 to 3 days or so was me just like literally pouring out everything that I have. Like straight, like just leave a camera running for 24 hours and I just sit here and like do what I'm doing right now with you as we're here together and you're watching me and like considering what all this means for your life, and you're looking at the next week and realizing you have a chance right now to plant a flag and change that week, the next month, the next year. You can choose right now to look back at what your last week, your last month, your last year, and to make the next week, the next month, the next year to mean something completely different from those. So why am I here on Father's Day going like crying with you guys? I am like super inspired and emotional this I guess the whole day, like every day, but like since I've turned on this camera, dude, I had no idea there was going to be any tears, much less like I bet you my eyes were like totally bloodshot. I've had to take deep breaths like I've taught you guys in some of the other videos like at least 3 times now. And it's because this is what I want to be doing. And it is what I do. So when 17 days ago, when I said I'm going to shoot a video every day for the next 90 days, and here's the evil plot. So I love stealing Frank Kern stuff, and I guess it's Frank Kern Day because we took Perfect Day. Now we're talking about evil scheming. So this isn't really like evil, guys. What we're talking about, evil scheming, evil plotting, is like just the fun little stuff that's like the total opposite of what the whole world does. It's me wearing a shirt that says wake up, kick ass, repeat, instead of dressing up in some freaking button up shirt to impress somebody. And those people, they're already gone. I didn't want them on this video. That's why I purposely wore a shirt that says kick ass. Because I purposely didn't want that person any part of this. Because if they have that's what I wanted to create. Now, if that's the kind of person you want to work with, it's totally cool. I gave up corporate America, and I'm not trying to be arrogant, but the 5 figures a week type of income that I make now is likely more than most of what all those stuck-up, button-up people. And the reality is, what I really know, the vast majority of all those people in the button-up shirts, they really want to be wearing this kind of shirt. They really want to walk around not giving a rip about what the rest of the world thinks of them. That's what most people really want, and it's really what I know a big part of what you want as well. Whether you choose to admit that, you could admit it to yourself at least, because I know it's down deep, deep inside. And it's okay if you still have your perception of the rest of the world is like, you're this like proper, you go do your job thing, you say the right things, you make sure you don't offend people, you don't say words like kick ass, because that might offend somebody. And God forbid we live in this world, you might get sued if you tell somebody to go kick ass, instead of really meaning like, dude, I hope you go and kick ass, and like mean that with good intentions, a good heart, and not to offend them, not to offend anybody else. Literally, because you literally have their back, and whether you like the thing they're going to do or not, you're literally telling them to dive in, pour in, work your whole heart, do your best, dude. Or you can just say, kick ass. Because there's a reason why Sigmund Freud back in the day used to strategically use cuss words, because it gets a part of your subconscious mind to open up just a little crack, and things slip in when I say things like ass. And now I've just said it so many times, like, some people left, some people you're paying attention, but I just said it so many times, your mind just like it's starting to wear off a little bit. Now I have to change it, and I say like, just kidding, I'm not going to drop an F-bomb. At least not there. I might in the future, and I probably already did, and it doesn't matter, because all of that is done by strategy. And here's the reason. It's because I've done so many Creating Your Perfect Days, and I look around at my life now, this is my freaking perfect day, and I've been living it, and it's like Groundhog Day again and again, and I just keep making it even more and more perfect. And the perfect day I created back in 2010, one day I looked around, I was like, holy shit, I just lived the perfect day that I created last year. And a year or two ago, we've been in the house right now for like 2 years and like 4 months. Well, like a year or two ago, I was going through old stuff, and I found a set of goals I'd created back in like 2009 or 10, and it was right around the perfect day time. And I looked at the goal sheet, and I was like, holy crap. This vehicle that we thought we could never get, check, it was gone. The home that we always wanted to live in, check, we're living there. The glass shower with the see-through thing that has so much space like 100 people could fit in it, check, we've had that. not just in this house, in our other one too. And I didn't even know we were creating that. One of the only things not in the perfect day, it actually wasn't in the perfect day, was waking up and seeing an ocean outside my window, and I'm looking this way because instead of an ocean, I see green trees, and as the sun's shining through the trees, I can already, as if I'm out there, start to feel the warmth of the sun hitting my skin. And there's no sun on me. I'm sitting here in my office right here, but I can live that and imagine it just like you can right now, because that's what it takes to create the perfect day. And you know what your perfect day is, because what that really is the same thing as a perfect week. Because sometimes when you're capped into like, what does your perfect day look like? I struggled with that for a long time, and I created it. It's amazing, but the reality is, I like a little variety. And sometimes what I want to do on my perfect day for lunch, maybe that kind of changes the next day. But I'll tell you one thing that's been super consistent. When you're forced into creating things in like a 24-hour period, it's a good thing. And then also, then you get a little more freedom to create a week. All suddenly, you can do things a little differently. Like you can choose to do like a whole day of videos and then spend entire amounts of time like with your closest loved ones, with your children, with your spouse, and do all these different adventures. Because there's some adventures that take a whole day to do. And if you only have one perfect day, you have to like try to figure out how to squeeze that adventure into a little chunk of it. But if you understand what I'm saying about one day and how that changes from that to 7 days or a week, and even how does that play out over a month or a year, there's common threads among all of those. And one of those common threads for me is to help inspire you to be your best self. That's literally, guys, check this out. This is one of the coolest little things that I own. This thing's like only 20 or 30 bucks. It's a little USB stick. And if I can get my camera to focus camera, here we go. Okay. So this little USB stick, here's a little light thing on it, and then in the very end here, I'm sure you can't see all it, especially because I don't have good lighting behind the camera here, there's like this little on switch. And you flip this thing on and it records your voice. And so I take this thing when I go out running, and then it's a little USB, you pop it in your computer, and you can download all the things in there. I had a big, it wasn't a big realization, it was what's it called when you grab things and you're putting them together? There's two types of imagination. There's full like just creative lightning bolt things, like you create this brand new idea and like I forgot if that's called creative imagination, but there's another kind of creation where you're grabbing things of different parts and putting them together, maybe in a new way, or at least a new way for you. So it's that type of that I'm talking about right now. I'm out on a run 2 days ago, and I have this thing, and I was listening to Tony Robbins at the time, and I hadn't listened to him for like at least a few months or so, and I don't even know what he said, and I don't even know what happened, but I got damn inspired, and I pulled this thing out, and I pushed pause on Tony Robbins, and instead of the little 5 to 20 second little messages I leave myself about like these amazing inspirations I get, this was like, I literally was running like this, and it was 4.5 or 5 minutes straight. Actually, maybe it was even 6 minutes. And the bad thing, I would play that for you guys, but there was so much wind, because this is like a crappy little tiny little microphone. It's not like this like $800 microphone that you're hearing me on right now. It's why you can hear me so well. So this microphone, I mean, this whole thing is 20 bucks. This microphone sucks. And I didn't realize as well, the way I was holding it, my finger was kind of over the mic, which is actually kind of good because I was blocking the wind, because I was literally running. So there's all this wind, and I'm going like this, and I was on fire. I spoke one of the most inspirational messages ever. And the only people that benefited from it was myself, a couple random people around me, but that like I was running by or that I ran past. And that's really it. And maybe some random birds and creatures that I was running by. And so it really brought me back to, I realized something, guys. So I remembered back to a particular soccer tournament we were in, and it was it was somewhere actually in college, I think, maybe after college. We were in this tournament, and I'd recruited at least one player that I'd played high school with that we had never played with outside of, like, it was years prior I had played with this guy. I remember he was there, and there were some other random people that were on our team, and our core group of guys we played with for like over a decade. We were like, literally, we were like amazing. We went undefeated for years straight at times. Like it was just such an awesome group of guys. And in this tournament, it was really, it's a super long story, but we were playing basically the Rapids reserve team that I had got cut from the year before. And so it was a big deal. I had all this, like, dude, I want to prove to them they cut the wrong guy. And anyway, it doesn't really matter. They were far superior skill-wise to our team, but this was like a big game. And here's why all this matters. Yes, we won that game. It was one of the best wins of my life, but that's not the important thing. The important thing was that leading up before the game, and I'm talking like before we went there, when I'm in the shower, and this was like days building up to this, or however, whenever I knew we were going to be in this tournament playing a really gigantoid team like that. So a team that was so stacked, it wasn't even just the Rapids Reserve. They actually brought on current, real MLS players and stuff. It was totally awesome and super honored they like stacked their team like that and we beat them. That's a tribute to like how important it is to have like solid teamwork and communication, the guys that love each other versus just like a bunch of guys that are amazingly skilled with egos that like battle each other, especially if they're like up against like a rabid like Rocky. It's like Drago against Rocky basically. And so why all of that is important is because leading up to that game, in the shower for that morning and probably several mornings before, all I could think of is what I wanted to tell our guys like before the game. And it's basically like a motivational speech. That's all. There is no motivation's all bullshit. There is something called inspiration. Motivation is just like get people all pumped up and then they just don't go do anything because they don't have the skills and the skills and the tools and the strategies, and it's just a bunch of like manipulating emotions temporarily and then it just like goes away. It doesn't last in a whole game of like, yeah, rah, rah, rah for a couple minutes and then you're out in the field and you're against someone who is like far superior to you. What do you do then? All the emotions are gone. How do you deal with that moment and how do you win? That's a different set of skills. That's totally different. That's called coaching. That's called strategy. That's called like real personal development, not this motivational rah-rah stuff. So I've always had it within me because I realized in that moment and other things around that and conversations with like my brother, really close with him, and like over the years realizing like how I prepare for games, I'm like thinking of what I'm going to say to people and share with them and about what I'm going to do. Of course about what I'm going to be doing on the field. That stuff's in my mind all the time. And even though I haven't played soccer for the better part of almost a decade now, and just thinking back to those moments, and then all these literally literally by now thousands of times, when me being inspired and my mind just goes to like, how can I make a deep impact on this person? Whether it's a one-on-one conversation with my son or my wife or my daughter or my other son or my parents or my family or groups of business partners or like on a stage with people. That's how my brain thinks, and I didn't know. I still don't know why. I have no idea why, but it's one of those gifts inside. I'm always telling you, you have to reach down and grab your gifts and pull them out. That's one of the gifts that's always been hiding inside of me my entire life. Even when I was a little kid and I was like literally like a shy guy in a turtle shell, that gift was inside, and that's why that was such a hard part of my life. So much struggle because I wanted to go help people, and I was too afraid to. I was afraid of everybody. I was afraid of what, I would never wear a shirt like that. I would wear the button-up shirt. I would wear whatever made me blend in to make, do they like me? We talked about that in other videos. That's all my whole mind was like, do they like me? Do they like me? That's not what runs my life anymore, and that's what allows me to do more of what I do now, my work in the world. It's why I got a message this morning from someone who is literally like an up-and-coming speaker, and they asked me to be inside their inner circle. It's why I'm in a lot of people's inner circles, and why people, I get like confide in me. It's why I basically am like a coach for like literally dozens and dozens of like high performing kind of people. And I'm kind of an idiot because most of that I'm all doing for free right now. But that, I don't really mean that. And that's actually horrible self-talk. That was like me trying to like be funny. That's stupid. I shouldn't joke like that at all, because there are some of those relationships I get value out of, but the deeper part, I get to serve my mission statement. And that's why I'm doing this video on Father's Day. That's why all those little moments, that's why it's a part of what would I do with a week of my life. If today was your last day, sorry, I should not try to sing in the morning when I'm not properly hydrated and when I've been crying and everything's all jacked up. That Nickelback, I hope it's Nickelback. If today was your last day and I totally just killed it, I'll do it correctly when I'm not all like caught up in emotion stuff. So if today was my last day, I would create this video for you and try to inspire you in some way. And maybe it'd be a slightly different twist to this video. If it wasn't Father's Day, if it was like Jason's last day, maybe that's what I should have called this video. Maybe it has nothing to do with today's actually Father's Day, or maybe it's your birthday, or like your anniversary, or anything else, or your first Father's Day, or maybe this is your last Father's Day. We don't know. Maybe it's my last Father's Day. I don't know what's going to happen. I know that this is a huge part of my life and I enjoy doing this kind of thing. And I also know you deserve to not be running on the same rat race that you've been on. And whatever you did last week or last month or last year, the decisions you make right now, you can change everything. You can make today your perfect day. You can choose to make this week the perfect week, the week of your life, the week that's the week you want to be like the summary of what you stood for and what your life did. And as you're on your dying bed looking back, that week was like, dude, nailed it. That's the week that you use to continue to grow from. And here's what's even more amazing. You get there and you live that day, that week, or whatever it is, and suddenly you step forward from there and you're looking back and you're like, wow, actually, here's my new perfect day. Here's my new week, because that stuff changes over time. When I first hurt my knee in soccer, like almost a decade ago now, I didn't know what to do. That led into running marathons. That led into now almost a full year of like Muay Thai kickboxing and karate, and I freaking love those things. And that somehow brought back my love for running, and now I've been running more for the last couple weeks. After today, I'll have put in 20 or 25 miles this week, depending on what I feel like doing when I'm out doing whatever I want today. So kind of like, it doesn't even matter, it's Father's Day, I like do this stuff basically every day. So guys, I want to inspire you, I want to encourage you, I want to let you know I believe in you. And as you're reaching down deep, finding even more of those gifts of your potential, when you're looking back on what you've already done and the things you know you want to change right now, realizing you can create the perfect day, the perfect week, the perfect year of your life, and the perfect life, so that as you're looking back, you're grateful for your life and not living a life of regret. And if you're looking on your life right now, and if today was your last day, and you look back and you regret things, you get to choose right now. You have all the power. You have everything you need inside you right now to make a decision to forgive, to make a decision to pour on love, to make a decision to live in gratitude. Because that's what the world needs more, and that's what you need more of. And as you're reaching down, finding those gifts, it is you can decide this in any given moment to unplug from the rat race, to make a move. Maybe you're not ready to unplug yet, but you can choose to make a decision that's going to set a chain reaction in motion so that you get to unplug, like I did in 2008. And my decision I made was in 2006. In fact, it was back in 2003. In fact, I tried to make the decision, but I made a lot of completely wrong decisions, but they were actually completely right because they led me to where I'm at today. And I love my life, and I love doing this, and I'm so grateful I was able to do this with you here on Father's Day or whatever day it is when you're watching this video. And this could be years from now, and it doesn't matter what the actual day is. What matters is that you choose to break out of the rat race, to unplug yourself from the matrix, to live that life that you were designed to live, to pull out even more of those God-given gifts. And what I'm going to do, I didn't even get to share any of this, and this video is getting so long. I'm going to tell 30-second version of this. For more than a year of my life now, I've been working in behind the scenes. I have not been out. I've been doing these videos for like the last couple weeks here, and these videos are helping you, and that's a big part of my mission statement. But I've been doing income-producing work behind the scenes in a selfish way for me and a handful of business partners that I really love. I truly love them like brothers. But that's like a little group of guys creating a whole ton of wealth. And that's not my deepest mission statement. So while that's totally cool, that doesn't serve you at all. Besides the lessons I learned from that and I can teach you. I am doing a webinar this coming Thursday evening on the 23rd. I'm going to invite you. This is just like a little preview of it. I'm going to invite you to that. That's it. I've been hiding behind things lately. I'm going to do some things that are directly going to serve you, help you pull out even more of those God-given gifts, help you to unplug from the matrix and get out of the rat race and think something that's really going to, if you choose to make a decision, you don't have to like slowly go and then eventually plug from the rat race. You don't have to spend a couple years or even more than that trying to figure out, like, you don't have to go full-time and then go back to part-time because you made a mistake. I've already made all those mistakes, and I have something I'm going to share with you on a webinar on Thursday night. You're going to love it, and I encourage you to really keep a close eye out for that. But until I send you out the link for that in the next like day, 2 days, whenever, you got to pay attention to that. I want you to be thinking about the seeds that were planted today. I want you to be thinking about what can you do right now so that as you're looking back, it's not of regret. And as we're going forward together, we're looking back on our lives, and we go to tomorrow, you look back and be like, you know what? That was a great day. And then we go so far forward as we're looking back on our lives, realizing we're sitting in gratitude, being thankful for all these things that led us to today, right now, even for the reason you're still here. What kind of person stays on a video for this long and watches all this stuff? Are you crazy? I hope you are, because you got to be a little bit crazy, because look around at the masses of people. One of the best things I ever heard from a trainer back in 2006. Look around, and whatever everybody else is doing, do the opposite. Because 98% of all people are miserable, and they're living a life of mediocrity, and they're failing. And if you're going to do what they're doing, you're going to get what they got. That wasn't their exact words, but you know what I'm saying. So if you want to be in that top 2%, that top 1 to 2 to 3%, that changes based on the different study and everything. But isn't it interesting? You never hear those studies saying, yeah, it's 10%. It's 50% of people are happy with their jobs. You don't hear those studies because they're not true. So what you learn when you really start to study humans is that the vast majority of people in first world countries right now are not happy with their lifestyle because they're following what the system is created. And I'm not even going into the system and how we really got here, because none of that matters. Why we got here, none of that stuff matters. What matters is what you do right now, between now and in a second from now, between now and Thursday when you get on the live webinar, between now and the next couple days, what's going to be different from what you did yesterday or the week before, the day before. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to go do. As I'm preparing to go to blow your mind with this information on Thursday's webinar, you're going to get the link here in the next day or two. I want you to pay close attention and look for that. But before you see that, I'll tell you what I'm going to do is lead by example. I'm going to go out, I'm going to turn off this camera, you guys are, as you're watching this video, I'm literally going to be out running around doing things I love, enjoying nature out here in Colorado, working on my tan. Yes, I know skin cancer is bad, and I'll carefully work on my tan. I'm super anal about being careful with that stuff. And I'm going to go have fun. I'm going to go out to lunch with my dad and my siblings and my entire family, and we're just going to have a blast. And after that, I don't even know what I'm going to do, and it doesn't even matter because I'm going to love today. I'm going to do whatever my heart feels in the moment, and I'm just going to dive in. And all this has been planned strategically because I've been building this plan for many years, and this is my perfect day. And this is exactly what I do in my perfect week. And I want you to one day, whether it's on camera or in a private conversation with your friends or your family or with your spouse or even one individual person, or whether it's the private conversation in your own mind, I want you to have that moment like I did where I saw my perfect day and I realized, and I was sitting there living my perfect day, and I was like, holy crap, I've created my perfect day, my perfect week, my perfect life. That's what I want for you more than anything. And that's a huge piece of what I'm going to help you to do on Thursday night's webinar. So guys, seize this day. Wake up, wake up, kick ass, repeat. And no, you can't. This is over here. This is the whole and body of what that word means and what that acronym. If you didn't know what that is, it's wake up, kick ass, repeat. What does that mean? It means you wake up every day. You go and like seize the day, carpe diem. Then what do you do the next day? You go and repeat that. Just imagine if you actually like soak the juice out of every single day, what is your life going to look like at the end of that day? How much better is your head going to hit the pillow, and you're going to have the best night of sleep in your life. You're going to wake up and just have this amazing next day. And there's a whole nother meeting. I've never heard anybody talk about this, that this came to me in a meditation a couple weeks ago. Wake up. Maybe it's not just waking up in the morning. Maybe it's like waking up so that you're not being like the Joneses down the street. That you're looking around. Maybe it's to wake up that you're not like 98% of the world that's walking around in a stupor, that's literally still plugged in the matrix and running some other plan, that they don't have freedom. They don't have freedom to sit here and ramble on a video and try to inspire people, or go out and run around, or go out and bike, or go out and do whatever the hell you want to do, or play video games. I've done that too. I played video games all day. I've spent thousands of dollars on video games. Whatever you want to do with your life, whatever you call freedom, whatever that is to you, spending time with your loved ones, having the money to go pay for the health and nutrition you know you deserve, getting to go, God, my wife and I were just talking about this. Back in, I think it was 2006, we were at, it was Valentine's Day. No, this was 2007. It's Valentine's Day. We're totally struggling for money, starting to make some business things work, but we don't have, I think maybe it was 2005, I don't know. All I know is my wife was like, within a month or two, we're about to have our first or second child. And we hadn't gone out to eat literally for a year because we didn't have the money to. And we go to this restaurant, and like it ended up being like whatever, 50, 60, 70 bucks. That was insane. Like we didn't even have the money for that. I probably even had to borrow the money to do that kind of dinner. That's why we hadn't gone out to eat for an entire year straight. The last year of my life, I don't even think about that. I literally don't think about how much does this thing cost in the menu. Like I take someone out to like a lunch or dinner or something, and I see they're fumbling on the pricing, and they're like, so then they're gonna order an appetizer. I'm like, dude, I will literally grab their menu, cover all the pricing, and make them order some. And I'll do all these like little tricks I have to like make them really figure out what they really want, even if they don't know I'm really doing this, and then we'll like order what they really want, because they're still worried about the money. And I don't mean for them, I mean like I'm paying it, but they're still stuck in this mindset. Instead of getting what they really want, they're getting what their current lifestyle can afford to get them. That's thinking back there. That's thinking with the 98%. You need to make decisions right now so that everything in your entire life is different moving forward. So guys, I love you. I believe you. Maybe I believe you. Actually, I usually don't believe you, but I believe in you. And I appreciate you. And I will see you on Thursday's webinar. Until then, to your ultimate success, God bless, guys. We will see you real, real soon.